Looks like West Aussies are a fickle bunch.
Yeah, the poll in today's West Australian suggests the curtain could come down faster on the Cook government than the garage door that stopped Ita Buttrose from coming to Perth. Seriously, hasn't Ita seen Indiana Jones? You've got to drop and roll under that shit. Anyway, this new poll of 1,000 West Aussies from Utting Research found the WA Liberals were in front on a two-party preferred basis. Now I know what you're thinking. Are the WA Liberals even still a thing? Well, technically yes, although they only have 2 seats in the lower house and one of them is filled with this guy.
She was going to fight like a chihuahua for...
But the other seat belongs to opposition leader Libby Medham, and she's been doing all right. She chaired the inquiry into sex abuse in the mining industry and has done a good job as shadow spokesperson for health.
And according to this new poll, is apparently the preferred premier.
Yeah, compare that to the actual premier, Roger Cook, who's already made one huge mistake since inheriting the top job, not being Mark McGowan. To be fair, not even Mark McGowan was peak popularity Mark McGowan at the end, so I'm willing to cut Rog some slack on that one. But his lack of McGowan-ness has been compounded by the government's ham-fisted rollout of the Indigenous Cultural Heritage Act. According to the poll, 57% of respondents didn't approve of the new laws, and nearly 1 in 5 were unsure about them. The last time Cook had this much negative publicity, it was for the clusterfuck that was his former health portfolio. Just on that note, it's ironic that Cook is punished for not being Mark McGowan, and his replacement in health, Amber Jade Sanderson, benefited massively from not being Roger Cook. Regardless, if the poll result was replicated at the ballot box, the Libs and their mates the Nationals would win enough seats to boot Labor from office. That's a staggering turnaround from a few months ago when we were talking about a Labor government that'd still be in power when West Coast were back in finals contention, aka a long time from now.
But it's pretty frustrating for all of us, so...
Labor's got to win Rockingham first.
Look, Labor candidate Magenta Marshall is the overwhelming favourite to replace Mark McGowan at the by-election this Saturday. The seat has been held by Labor since it was first created in 1974, and McGowan held it at the 2021 state election with a margin of 37.7%, so we're talking safe as houses. Then Magenta admitted last week she had a DUI back in 2021, which feels on brand for Rocko, but maybe not if you're trying to win votes. And you have to wonder if Magenta will be punished for the confusion around the Heritage Act. The question is, who stands to gain from these own goals?
I guess you're the winner by default.
Default? Woohoo! The 2 sweetest words in the English language.
Well, you've got a Liberal candidate, Peter Hudson, who, at just 21 years old, isn't old enough to hire a car from budget without being hit by a surcharge.
Age is no guarantee of efficiency.
And youth is no guarantee of innovation.
I'm not saying he's a baby, but I don't trust anyone who didn't live through Y2K.
It's his second time running for government.
Amazing. And you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, find a party with so little talent they'll let you have another crack.
like a chihuahua.
Like Labor, the Greens have gone navel-gazing to find a candidate, tapping former staffer Madeleine de Jong. She's running on a platform of keeping Coburn Sound nuclear-free, which sounds pretty random until you remember the AUKUS deal could have nuclear subs rubbing shoulders with the region's pink snapper population. Of the remaining candidates, only one has a realistic chance of stealing votes from Labor, and that's independent Hayley Edwards. The former Rockingham deputy mayor is highly respected in the area and reckons Labor snubbed her in the pre-selection process.
You reckon that'll come back to haunt them?
It could, but talking about haunting, I'm still trying to get over the time I spent on independent candidate Clive Arthur Galletley's website. Colloquially known as Rockingham's remedial massage guy, Galletley says he's willing to fight for a women's refuge and the homeless. That all sounds great, but before you cast your vote, it's probably worth noting if old mate Clive/Arthur gets in, he wants to inundate WA with dung beetles.
What?
I shit you not. No pun intended. But even the dung beetle plan makes more sense than the final independent candidate I want to draw your attention to. Honestly, I don't know where to start with Peter D. Dunn, other than to say he started a GoFundMe page to finance his campaign. Oh, and buy himself a Toyota Camry.
A hybrid, no less.
So far, that crowdfunding effort has raised a whopping $10 towards his 15k target. So not sure he's going to get there by Saturday. Back in April, Peter D. Dunn used his publicly visible Facebook page to share first date ideas. Bit of an overshare, but in case you're wondering, his ideal dates include going to the theatre, watching TV news, or doing the dishes together.
Romantic.
Going for a drive could be an option too, but he'll need that crowdfunding to really take off. So yeah, stacked against that lot, this is definitely Magenta Marshall's by-election to lose. Winning it doesn't prove much in such a safe seat, but even a slight swing away from Labor turns up the heat on this bloke.
I accept that we have a process to go through, and I'll be doing that in a very respectful way.
I'm Ben O'Shea.
For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.